Okay, I'm just going to give you a quick look at the Kola map. I think it's terrible. I think it's very poor quality. I think it's lazy. I think it shouldn't have been released in its current format. The only redeeming features are it's a genuinely interesting area geographically and geopolitically, and I would also say that it's relatively smooth. It doesn't suffer from much lag or anything like that. My PC is a i10900K with a RTX 3080 Ti, so it's a reasonably powerful PC, but we're not at the 4 series, so it's fairly representative of a kind of a maybe typical gamer PC at the moment. So I'm just going to show you a few things that really annoy me. So one of the bigger problems I've noticed is a lot of the buildings don't sit correctly within their location. They overhang, the base of them overhangs the terrain, and it just looks incredibly unrealistic. And you know, it's something that we would have seen 15 years ago. You can just see down there, you know, how badly implemented some of the buildings are. And I don't know what's causing it. I mean, that building is just immersed in the terrain, and the building is just, as you get closer, I don't know, is it an issue with shadowing, but you can see under that building. That's just, how is that acceptable in this day and age? It's terrible, absolutely terrible. What you see before you is basically what you're getting for 99.9% of the map. Bland, poor, you know, shapeless terrain that's just basically, it feels like it's just procedurally generated. Sharp angles that aren't natural looking or aren't properly reflective of the reality of what's there. And like, it really, it's not better than the Caucasus, which is almost criminal to say. So this is, I think it's Polygon, the Russian naval base, just north of Murmansk, and this should be an incredible location, but instead it's just generic buildings slammed into a terrain mesh that looks like it came from 2004 or 5 and probably wasn't a good one at that point. The coastlines are terrible everywhere, and they're just basically edged lines. I would be of the view that this is really the worst map that's been released in DCS so far. The South Atlantic map was also another terrible map. Now, that has improved somewhat recently, but I don't accept this early access nonsense when it comes to quality. This is one of the most interesting points on this map, of which there's perhaps 6 or 7 locations that are anything more than trees and landscape, and this is poor. It's just poor. Probably one of the few positives I can say about it is that the game generally doesn't suffer from issues with frame rates as a result of the map. Why would it? What's it rendering? I also don't accept that, you know, early access is an excuse, and I don't accept that there's any limitations in the game engine. And the reason I say that is Syria is an amazing map. Sinai is an amazing map. Marianas is an amazing map. You know, even Las Vegas, as much as a lot of people don't like it, I have a reasonable amount of time for it. I think it's a you know, it's a simple map, but what's detailed is reasonably detailed, and it's got a couple of fun features and interesting areas to fly to. You know, this you know, it's nice to see a shipyard and all that, and to see the Delta 4s, but at the end of the day, that's a 2 or 3 day job to put in something like that, and if that's their selling point, it's just not good enough. You know, these are probably with the nicest terrain assets that have been added. The dry dock for the SSBNs, but you know, it's just it's like going back in the past. This is what I remember DCS to look like 15 years ago, and it's just not good enough. And the other thing is that so many of the DCS YouTubers are getting products that are paid for. They're afraid to speak honestly about this absolute crap. Look at that line there, it's like a straight line. It's crap, it's utter crap, and there's no point in saying anything else. The northern Norway kind of Barren Sea, Murmansk kind of area is potentially a fascinating area, full of potential for scenarios. So in that sense, I probably will get some use out of it, but there's no excuse for the landscapes. There's no excuse for the mesh being what it is. It's just incredibly poor. It's not much better from the air, because from the air you see no detail at all. So it's poor at all levels, in my opinion. And I think anyone that's recommending this or hyping this needs to be real honest with what they're hoping to achieve. If you buy this, as I did, I would suspect you will get no real use out of it. And you know, you can talk about early access and it'll improve and stick with it, but it's just not good enough. I mean, I've the Sinai since day one, and it was from day one just optimized, smooth, and you know, not perfect, but very, very, very good. And the same is true of Syria. And like, you can fly over cities like Damascus or you know, Lebanon, and it's just superb. This is just terrible, and I don't accept it's because it's more challenging to do a green field map or a green terrain than a desert terrain, because there's quite a lot of parts of Syria are green enough, you know, the island of Cyprus and so on. So it's not an excuse. So I said I'd make a little video because I'm sick of watching all these videos showing 1 or 2 areas that are a little bit better. There are 1 or 2 points of interest. There's one of the towns has a nice bridge in it, but it feels to me like the days when we were playing games like Microsoft Flight Sim or FX, whatever, 8, 9, when you know, anything above, you know, any way of buildings or anything new was sort of considered innovative. We're well beyond that. We live in a world where Microsoft Flight Simulator has basically 1:1 scale renderings of the world that are unsurpassed, and I don't expect us to be at that fidelity. But as I said, DCS has proven it can be much better than this, and this is crap. It's crap. It looks crap, and that's it. I'll leave the video at that. Hopefully this will at least inform your decision to buy it.